Is there? Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaupaktabinda. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song, Shuddha Bhakta. It's a very nice song. Prabhupada would sing this. Shuddha Bhakta Chodana Denu Bhajana Anukula Shuddha Bhakta Chodana Denu Bhajana Anukula Bhakta Sheva Padama Siddhi Prema Loti Kadamula Bhakta Sheva Padama Siddhi Prema Loti Kadamula Madhav Titi Bhakti Janani Jotane Palana Kori Madhav Titi Bhakti Janani Jotane Palana Kori Krishna Bhoshati Bhoshati Bali Parama Adare Bore Krishna Bhoshati Bhoshati Bole Parama Adare Bore Gaurama Jaishabashtane Korila Brahman Range Jaishabashtan Hedibo Ami Pranayi Bhagat Shange Shuddha Bhakata Chadana Denu Bhajana Anukula Mridanga Bada Shunite Mon Abashada Shada Jache Goda Bihita Kirtana Shuni Anande Ridoyanache Anande Ridoy Jaidin Grehe Bhajana Dekhe Grihite Goloka Bhaya Chodana Shitu Dekiya Gonga Shukana Shima Paya Jugal Murti Dekiya Mo Padamananda Hoya Prashad Sheba Korite Hoy Shakala Prapancha Jaya Shudha Bhakata Chodana Denu Bhajana Anukula Tulasi Deki Judaya Pran Madhava Toshani Jani Goda Priya Shaka Shebane Jibana Sharta Kamani Jibana Sharta Kamani Bhakti Binod Krishna Bhajane Anukula Paya Jaha Titi Boshe Paramashuke Svikara Kodoyetaha Shudha Bhakata Chodana Denu Bhajana Anukula Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Translation is there? Someone can read?
When I hear the bona fide songs describing Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, my heart dances in ecstasy.
Whenever I see the transcendental Sri Vigrahas of Radha Krishna, I am in bliss. For by taking their lordships, prasada, we can conquer over the material elements.
One day while performing devotional practices, I saw my house transformed into Goloka Vrindavan. When I take the Charanamrita of the deity, I see the holy candle water that comes from the lotus feet, from the feet of the Lord Vishnu, and my bliss knows no bounds. By seeing the Tulsi tree, my heart feels joy, and Lord Madhava, Krishna is also satisfied. When I eat the prasad favored by Lord Chaitanya, it's a new life experience. Lord Chaitanya was very fond of a green vegetable preparation called saag, and there is another song in this book that tells of the amazing effects of this type of prasad.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur concludes by saying, whoever attains the stage of initiation for this devotional practices will be supremely blissful wherever he may be.
Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Shagurajatam Shahagaraganatam Vidangtam Shajibam Shadvaitam Shabadutam Parijana Shaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishavam Cha Mantra Guru Jotta Shikha Guru Gonta Chorane Age Kori Avandon Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shamati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shandavari Pashtatta Desha Tarine Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text number? Shyama Vadatam Virajam Prashantarunalochanam Dorabhi viditam Pita ko shambarena cha Shama vadatam virajam Prashantaruna lochanam Dorabhish chaturbhir viditam Pita koshambarena cha. Please chant. Gurukuli. Matrimondali. Shama avadatam, beautiful with black color. Virajam, formed of pure goodness. Prashanta, peaceful. Aruna, reddish. Lochanam, eyes. Dorabhihi, by the arms. Chaturabhihi, four. Viditam, being recognized. Pita, yellow. Kosha, silken. Ambarena, with garments. Cha, and the Lord's body is blackish, but is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge, and very, very beautiful. His eyes are always peaceful, and they are reddish, like the rising morning sun. I could immediately recognize him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his four hands, different symbolic representations, and yellow silk garments. The Lord was sitting, taking rest against a young banyan tree, with his right lotus foot on his left thigh. And although he had left all household comforts, he looked quite cheerful in that posture. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the Lord's sitting posture, keeping his back against the newly grown banyan tree, is also meaningful. Ashvata, the banyan tree, is so called because the tree does not die very quickly. It continues to live for many, many years. His legs and their energies are the material ingredients, which are five in all: earth, water, fire, air, and sky. The material energies are represented by the banyan tree. The material energies represented by the banyan tree are all products of his external potency and are therefore kept to his back. And because this particular universe is the smallest of all, the banyan tree is therefore designated as small or as a child. Chaktva Pipalam indicates that he has now finished his pastimes in this particular small universe. But since the Lord is absolute and eternally blissful, there's no difference between his leaving or accepting something. The Lord was now prepared to leave this particular universe and go into another, just as the sun rises on one particular planet and sets in another. simultaneously, but does not change its own situation. Mukam karti vachalam pangam langaite girim chatkapa tamaham vande Shri Gurum dinatarinam. In the Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, Krishna himself personally is explaining the Bhagavat Tattva, the science of his nature. Ajopi shan abhyayatma bhutanamishwaropi shan prakritim swam adhishtaya shambhavami atmamayaya. He's explaining to Arjuna that Ajopi shan abhyayatma, although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, Bhutanamishwaropi shan, and I am the Lord of all beings, prakritim swam adhishtaya. Prakritim swam adhishtaya. I appear in this material, I manifest myself, I appear in this material prakriti, in this material energy. It appears like an ordinary person. Even this one line of Bhagavad Gita, all the other philosophers and religionists, they cannot even understand this one line of Bhagavad Gita. They cannot understand. Prakritim swam adhishtaya. I appear in the material energy. That is to beyond their understanding. They cannot understand because he's the controller of all energies. Then he can appear in any situation. Just like the sun, and the sun is unchanging, although sometimes it appears and disappears in our sky. But the sun is unchanging. So sometimes prakritim swam adhishtaya, he appears. He establishes himself, makes himself visible in the material world. Sambhavami atmamayaya, sambhavami. I appear atmamayaya, by my own control, by my own energy. It's not like us. Krishna is explaining to Arjuna the difference between himself, although he appears like an ordinary being. Tani aham veda sarvani na tvam veta parantapa bahuni me batitani janmani tabacha Arjuna. You and I, bahuni me, we've appeared so many times. We're also appearing again and again in this world, accepting bodies again and again. But the difference is we change bodies. We change bodies. And every time it's a whole new equation. It's so complex. In this life, you take birth, you cannot go to the college and say, in my previous life I got the degree, I studied. Everything again, you have to start from zero. Only if you could remember your PIN card number in the next life. Everything is forgotten. But he doesn't forget. He never forgets anything. He never forgets. Can you imagine? Never forgets. Ajopi abhyayatma, indestructible. Doesn't deteriorate in any way. Ajopi shan abhyayatma. Tani aham veda sarvani. I remember them all. He never forgets anything. The concept of forgetfulness is just beyond his he never forgets anything. That's sufficient qualification to be God, the Supreme Being. You never forget anything. From the beginning without an adi, there's no beginning. Just these things are in the vernacular language is a blow your mind. An adi is no beginning, and he never forgets anything. It's even that. If you can just understand that, then we surrender to that Lord. So therefore we worship the form of the Lord. This ISKCON heard about Attapur, Sisi Radha Madhav, very beautiful. Very beautiful, very special. Sisi Radha Madhav, very beautiful. Very exquisitely beautiful. Sri Radhika here. Very beautiful. We're waiting to see. Very beautiful. And today she's beautifully dressed. The blackish, the dress is blackish, and the night sky is there also. In the background, some parrots are there. It's so exquisite. Benam Kwanantam. Benam Kwanantam. That's good timing. Benam Kwanantam. He's expert at playing on the flute. Benam Kwanantam. Krishna, very musical. It's so charming. Venam Kwanantam. playing on the flute. Imagine hearing Krishna's flute. What a feast for the ears. Gauda Bihita Kirtana Shuni Ananda Ridoy Nache. This song, Bhagavatam Thakur, everything is there in the one song. Gauda Bihita Kirtana Shuni Ananda Ridoy Mridanga Badda Shunite Hoy Abhashara Shara Jache. Thakur Bhakti Vinod Abhashara Shara Jache. I'm desiring to hear the beat of the mridanga. Today we had 4 mridangas playing in the Guru Puja. A tumultuous sound. I'm staying in the room over there. I hear the Gurukul boys, they're practicing mridanga, like tumultuous sound, ba-boom, boom, ba-boom, boom, coming. So Krishna is very musical. Venam Kwanantam, and he's playing the flute, expert in playing the flute. His charming flute playing, exquisite sound. Imagine if you could hear Krishna's flute. You could desire this. When you're chanting japa, you make a desire, and we cannot become desireless. So what to desire? Desire to hear Krishna's flute playing. Venam Kwanantam. Arabinda Dalaya Taksham. Arabinda Dalaya, his blooming lotus-like eyes. Arabinda Dalaya Taksham. Bhagavatam Shang. He has a blackish hair which is bedecked with the peacock feather. Bhagavatam. Ashitambuddha Shundarangam. Ashit Ambuddha, like a blackish cloud. Ashit Ambuddha, Shundarangam. His beautiful limbs are like a blackish monsoon cloud. I used to read this, used to hear this verse. I was brought up in Krishna consciousness in Australia, Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir. We used to Asit Ambuddha Sundarangam. He's like a monsoon cloud, his beautiful limbs. But we never saw the monsoon clouds there. But here in Mayapur, you see blackish, a deep blackish color, the clouds. That's the color of Krishna's form. It's a blackish, like a bruised, bluish, blackish color, deep black cloud. Srila Madhavendra Puri Prabhupada, when he would see the monsoon cloud, he would fall unconscious, remembering Krishna. Srila Madhavendra Puri Prabhupada. Asitam Buddha Sundarangam. Bhavat Asitam Buddha Sundaram. And then Kandarpa Koti, 10 million Cupids. 10 million. The Lakshmis, the Cupids. Kandarpa Koti, Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Vishesha Shobham, his special beauty, Vishesha Shobham, Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya, is attracting, is charming. Kandarpa Koti, 10 million Cupids. 10 million Cupids. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. How you could not worship such beautiful form. Krishna, they're all attractive. And he appeared, the deity worship. We're so fortunate here by mercy of Nitya Lila Pravishta Shala Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, that he personally installed Sri Sri Radha Madhav here. For that reason, their presence, Upashtiti is very powerful. Their presence is very, very powerful. And just by seeing the deities, that's devotional service. Just by coming to the temple. Pado Hare Kshetra Padanu Sharpane Mukunda Lingalaya Darshane Drisho. Ambarish Maharaj, he used his eyes to Mukunda Lingalaya Darshane Drisho, to see the deity. Pado Hare Kshetra Padanu Sharpane, he used his legs to walk to the temple. So just by walking to the temple, you're reinstating yourself in your eternal constitutional position. How easy is Bhagavad Bhakti? Just by walking to the temple. Mukunda Lengalaya Darshane Drisho, just by seeing the deity. Therefore Prabhupada, although the Sankirtan, it was the Prem Sankirtan mission, the Prem Sankirtan movement, Kali Juge, Juga Dharma Name Prochar Toti Lage Pita Barna Chaitanya Avatar. He appeared, Juga Dharma Name Prochar, for spreading the holy name, preaching the holy name. Kali Juge, Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. Nam Rupe, the name is also, the form is eternal. We described, just as is described in the Brahma Samhita, ancient descriptions. The same form we're worshipping. And the name also, it never changes. The name, that's why we chant, that's why, Binatwan Nama Namino. There's no difference between the name. He never got the name. We were discussing the last time we were here about the Mumbai, the famous cricketer, and they were chanting his name. But that's a temporary thing. It's not actually him. But we identify. There's changing the names. So many different names. Male, female, are different, changing. But the Lord's name never changes. He's eternally named. His name no different. Binatwan Nama Namino. No difference between. So hearing the name. So actually this in his yuga, the Nam Sankirtan, the Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. Only Kalo Nashdeva Nashdeva Gotiron Nata. And there's no other means apart from chanting the holy name. But Prabhupada, he installed the deities of Sisi Radha Krishna, Sitaram Prabhu, we were just saying here, Sisi Radha Madhav here, very beautiful, Sri Radhika, very beautiful. Just come here, I come here just to take darshan of Sri Radhika. It's so beautiful. Prabhupada, he went to Australia, he flew from Singapore. Actually, they didn't let Prabhupada into Singapore. Huh? What a mistake they made, immigration. They didn't let him in. He was flying to Australia. His hand luggage was Gopinath, was the Gopinath deity. His hand luggage, on the plane, he's sitting with the deity of Gopinath on the plane. And his servant, I forget his name, his servant there, he was a German devotee, he was carrying Sri Radhika, they're sitting there, Radha and Krishna on the plane to Sydney, Australia, and he installed. And he gave the Brahman initiation. The devotees, they had to go down the street to the supermarket to get some string to make the Brahman threads. And Prabhupada installing Radha Govinda. Still, the deities are there in Sydney, and they had no idea. And Prabhupada's installing. So why? The holy name, simply by chanting Hare Nama Eva Kevalam, only the holy name. Why Prabhupada? All over the world he installed the deities, because the deity worship is so powerful. We just come and see the temple. That is, you can awaken your love just by seeing the beautiful form of the Lord. Shokal Shadan Sresta E Pachanga Krishna Prema Janma E Pacha Alpa Shanga. E Pacha Alpa, even a little of these five. Nam Sadhu Sangha, Nam Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathurava Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Shraddhaya Shabon. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Shraddhaya Shabon. Seeing the deity, bowing before the coming to the arti. Mahaprabhu would be there in Jagannath Puri. Chaitanya Bhagavat describes every morning, Mangal Arti, before the conch blows, Mahaprabhu would be standing there. Such a opportunity to associate directly with the Lord. The Mangal Arti, is it's so powerful practice. Observing the Mangal Arti, saying, and you get the blessings. So therefore, Prabhupada, even though we're not actually qualified, but out of kindness, on the request I was saying, is a mercy of Nitya Lila Pravishta Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, because he requested Sri Radhika to be present here and accept the service. Telangana, Lokjon, Telangana, to accept the service of the Telangana residents. He requested. Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he requested, you kindly come here and accept their service. So therefore it's possible. Therefore she remains here to be served. There was one, the deity worship, although we see in the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, predominantly the description is a Sankirtan. Every day Mahaprabhu would perform Sankirtan in Jagannath Puri. Every day, the tumultuous Sankirtan, every day. So the Sankirtan pastimes are described elaborately in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Mahaprabhu, the Sankirtan pastimes described. Ratha Yatra, the Sankirtan pastimes. But not described so much, but the underlying reality is that the devotees were all worshipping deities. It's not described so much because it's understood. It's an understood factor. Everyone's worshipping the deities. Therefore, not necessary to describe so much. Ek konda gache ache Shrivas Mondire konda rupe kiba kolpataro avatare. Ek kunda gachache Srivas Mondire. In the courtyard of Srivas Thakur, there is one kunda bush. Ek kunda gachache Srivas Mondire. Kunda rupe kiba kalpataru avatare. In the form of a kunda tree, it is a kiba kalpataru avatare. It's actually a spiritual, desire-fulfilling kalpataru tree from the spiritual world, growing in the courtyard of Shiva Shankan. So that tree, it never exhausted of flowers. It never exhausted. 12 months, always, no matter how many flowers the devotees were collecting, the tree was never exhausted. What a wonderful kalpataru, a spiritual tree. Imagine that. So all the devotees would gather around that tree every morning. So and then Ramai came. Paramodbud kota maha ashambhab nimai pandit hoilo parama vaishnab. The news was announced. Where was it announced? Not on the Facebook page. It was announced there at the Kalpataru Kundagach, at that place. That's where everyone was gathering. Why was everyone gathering there? Why? Because they're collecting flowers. Why they were collecting flowers? Because they're all worshipping deities. There was one itinerant mendicant. He came to he walked into the courtyard of Jagannath Mishra one morning. One itinerant mendicant, Vrindavan Thakur, he's described that Shadakha Gopal Kore Uparshan. He's worshipping with the 6-syllable Gopal mantra. Gopal naibedya bine na kore bhojan. Gopal naibedya bine. Apart from that which is offered to his deity, Gopal naibedya bine na kore bhojan. He would not eat anything except that which is offered to his deity. This is his sadhana, the deity worship. And we'll see that I'll describe it. Would you like to hear a little bit about his practice of Bhagavad Bhakti and how that attracted the mercy of Lord Chaitanya? Would you like to hear? Konte Bal Gopal Bhushan Shalagram. Konte around his neck. Konte Bal Gopal. Bhushan. His decoration, his ornaments, the decoration around his neck was the deity of Gopal, a shalagram and a shalagram shila, carrying around his neck all the time. This is a very advanced level of deity worship, to carry the deity all the time. To carry the deity. I have the shalagram. When I'm traveling, I carry. You feel the protection right here. You feel, sometimes security I put in the bag, but many times I go through security, they don't even notice. They don't notice carrying the shalagram. But to do that all the time, you require a high level of consciousness, to always remain like you're in the deity room all the time. And it's that consciousness, and all the time carrying, and then he would take the deity from her neck, and then he would worship. Parama Brahmana Teja Oti Onupam. So beautiful with such brilliance. This is how he's described. In ISKCON, your introduction, sometimes the devotee will stand and I read all the positions that one has held in ISKCON. All the different positions over the years. Everyone, even retired, but still that will be mentioned. For this man here, this year's, he was this position, that position. This is how one is introduced in ISKCON. But how he's introduced, Vrindavan Das Thakur describes his puja. That's the first thing he mentions, his sadhana, his chanting of mantra and his worship of the deity. That's his feature. That's his identity. That's his distinctive feature. That's what's described. Who this person is? He only eats the food which is offered to his deity. That's how he's introduced. So these are the important things in life. So Jagannath Mishra, seeing his Brahmana Teja, his effulgence, he stood up, welcomed him. He asked, "Where are you from?" And he said, "I'm just wander from place to place because of my restless nature. I wander from place, Krishna Udesha, from one pilgrimage place to the other, I wander." Oh, how fortunate we are today that you've wandered You've wandered into our courtyard. How fortunate we are today that you've wandered into our courtyard. Kindly allow us to feed you. Just see the elevated society that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in. An unknown mendicant can just walk into your courtyard and immediately all facility is given to him. That's how cultured the society was. Nowadays it's not possible. In the village, in some places perhaps, but in the city a mendicant cannot survive like that. Just wander into the house and immediately open the doors, come into the kitchen. To see how exalted, how advanced, how cultured was the society in which Gaushundor, Dvijamani, the jewel of the Navadip Brahmins, Brahminical culture, and he's Dvijamani, the jewel of the Navadip Brahmins. Sarva Navadipe Sharva Lok Hoilo Dhani Nimai Pandit Odda Pakshiromani, the jewel of the Brahmins of Navadip. What a city. So Jagannath Mishra says, allow us to cook for you, and they clean, as you desire. They clean the kitchen and then they arranged all the ingredients. He's cooking for himself. He will cook. The Brahmin will cook every day. He's cooking for the deity. The Brahmin will cook. When they clean the kitchen, he's cooking. After some time, a few items, rice, bagon, bhaji, shak, a few items. Go to Priya Shaka Shabone, Jibon Shartak Mani, just by tasting that shak. In Bengal, so many different varieties of shak. We were walking with Krishna, Nitya Lila Pravishta Shri Krishna Kirtandas Brahmachari. We were walking on the path in the jungle to the cottage where we were staying. He stopped. He told the brahmacharis, they're pulling these leaves. They're pulling off the side of the path. They're pulling and collecting in the bag. And Prabhu looks at me and says, Prabhu, this is very nice, tasty shak. It's growing wild in the jungle of Bengal. Shak, go to Priya Shaka Shabone, honoring that shak which is so dear to Lord Chaitanya. So he's cooking the items, shak, rice, some ghee. He's sitting, he takes a deity from his neck, putting on the asan. He's ringing the bell, meditating on the Gopal and the Shalagram to enjoy that bhoga, and meditating in this way, chanting the mantra. So Gaudhari, he desired to fulfill the desire of that Brahmin, and he came, and as he's deep in meditation, closed eyes, ringing the bell, please, idam nabeddam, you accept this offering. His desire, he praying, as a Gaudhari, he attracted. He came, he's looking at the Brahmin, he's eating that hot rice, he's eating, enjoying that hot rice, he's eating. And the Brahmin, his meditation broke. Hi, the boy has spoiled the offering. He doesn't understand the greatest benediction is he's thinking it's a spoiled offering. And Jagannath Mishra comes, what is this? Jagannath Mishra is so angry, he wanted to beat Nimai. He doesn't know that Nimai is God. Brajendra Nandana Jai Shachi Shuta Hoilo Shay. Brajendra Nandana, the darling of Braj, Shachi Shuta Hoilo. This is Jagannath Mishra, he's Nanda Baba. But he's forgotten all of that. He's forgotten that. That's how much love, that's how much the lila is so deep, the relationship, the vatsalya, prema, so deep that all the tattva he forgets. He's God, he forgets. He wanted to beat Nimai. In the dream, one effulgent Brahmin said to Jagannath, you shouldn't chastise your son. He's the supreme God. In the dream, Jagannath Mishra replies, Mishra kahe, Deb Shiti Muni Keni Noi Jai Shabara Hok Matra Amatanoi. Yes, he might be a great mystic. He might be a great Muni. He might be a God. He might be the supreme God. Jai Shabara Hok. Even they tell Jagannath Mishra, your son is God, but he cannot, it does not register. Jai Shai Boro Hok Matro Amartana. Yes, but still he's my son. I have to chastise him. I have to correct him. He's my son, he says. He may be God, but still he's my son. So he wants to beat Nimai, and the Brahman, no, please, no. I am a born Bashi. I live in the forest. I am satisfied with the roots and fruits. Just bring whatever you have. Oh, no, please, cook again, please. Everyone present, all relatives, they all begging that Brahmin, please cook again. Oh, okay, if you request. Again, they clean the kitchen. Again, he's cooking. They said, take Nimai to the neighbor's place. He may again disturb. Take him to the neighbor's place. So Nimai's there. The ladies, they're passing Nimai from one lap to the other, joking with Nimai. They're so charming that just at that moment, Brahman again making the next offering, Nimai slips away. They were so enamored they didn't notice. He's there in a meditation, again ringing the bell. And again, Gochandra, he's there, his hand, he's taking that rice. Again, the Brahman opens his eyes. Again, he can't believe it. Jagannath Mishra comes with a stick. He comes with a stick. Now he's going to get a beating. He skipped the fair. Now he's going to get a beating. That Brahman, he held Jagannath Mishra. He held him back. He said, the boy is so young. Just see. He's so young. Gaur Gopal. He doesn't understand between right and wrong. Actually, in the development of the child, there's a period where they do not understand right and wrong. That actually dawns on them after some years of development. Oh, right and wrong. That's what taking birth again means. Everything, you go back to Agyana, Timiranda, ignorance again. Don't take a chance. So he of course, is Leela, Goshandra Leela. He doesn't understand. Beating him will be of no, don't beat the child. No, he held him back. Don't beat the child. Jagannath Mishra just sitting here with his head in his hands. He's completely morose. This Brahman has come. What an opportunity to Bhakata Shaiva Paramasiddhi. One song, everything is there. Bhakata Shaiva Paramasiddhi. The highest perfection, Paramasiddhi, is Bhakata Shaiva, is serving the devotee. Bhakata Shaiva Paramasiddhi. Prema Loti Karmul. It's the root of prema, of the creeper of prema. Bhakata Shaiva Paramasiddhi. The opportunity we had to serve this Vaishnav, Brahman, the Sebok, this Thakur Sebok, and we're 2 times and we're everything destroyed. How unfortunate I am. He sits there with his head in his hands. And then Vishwarup, Mahaprabhu elder brother, Nityananda Prakash, Vishwarup. Vishwarup, he appeared on the scene. He was at that time 14, 15 years old. Shabane Mone Bodane Shabendriya Gone Krishna Bhakti Bene Nar Bole Nashune. Vishwarup, Shabane Mone Gone. Whatever he heard, whatever he thought, whatever he said. Shabane Badane Mone. Sharbendriya Gone, all of his limbs, Krishna Bhakti. Apart from serving Krishna, Krishna Bhakti, Bine na kichi bole na shune. He didn't utilize his limbs for any other purpose except satisfying Krishna. Vishwarup Mahashai. So when the Brahman, he saw Vishwarup, he was completely enchanted by his beauty. And Vishwarup, then he sat down and he began to speak. He sat down. He sat down and began to speak. They were sitting there. There was a discussion in the courtyard in Shachi Angane, in the courtyard of Sachi Devi. And Vishwarup is saying that how fortunate we are that you've come, you've wandered into our residence, and how fortunate we are. But if you fast, if you remain fasting in our residence, how unfortunate we will become. So out of mercy, out of kindness to us, out of mercy to us, you kindly cook again. And that Brahman, he said, look, one has to understand the desire of Lord Krishna. Today I tried to cook 2 times, but it's not my karma today to eat rice. One simply has to accept. Bunjana evatma kritam vipakam. One has to accept the results of one's previous activities. Apana karama bunjaye shamaha kohare lochanadas. You have to endure. You cannot, they're like a shadow. They stay with you and you cannot endure. It's like we were discussing this mundane philanthropic work. Actually, it's no benefit. Because those reactions, they still follow you. It's people that do not understand. They'll get it in a different way. So therefore, the real beneficial work is spreading Krishna consciousness. This Brahmin is saying that today I'm not destined to eat rice. You have to accept the plan of the Lord. Whatever fruits and fruits and roots you have available, a house now, raw, we'll eat. I rarely eat rice. I'm satisfied. He said, just by seeing you, I feel like I've eaten 100 times. So Vishwarup, he clasped the feet of that Brahmin. He held his feet. He clasped the feet of that Brahmin. He begged him, please cook again. It's very, very difficult to refuse the request of someone who's holding your feet. So again, even though it was so late at night, it was already past midnight, and the Brahmin, he said, okay, I'll cook again. And they cleaned the kitchen, they brought the ingredients. They said, lock Nimai, take him and lock him in the room. And put a lock on the door. Lock him in the room. And the lady said, no, Nimai's fast asleep. It's already late at night now. Nimai's fast asleep. No, Nimai won't disturb you anymore. So again, that Brahmin, deep in the night, he's cooking. He finishes the offerings. He finishes the items cooking. He puts his deity there. He brings a plate. A tulasi lays. Again, he's in the mantra. So as he's making the Nidra Devi Shadi. Nidra Devi Shadi, the goddess of sleep. Nidra Devi, Shadi, it brushed the cheeks of all of the inhabitants of Jagannath Mishra's house. Nidra Devi Shadi brushed the cheeks of all the residents of Jagannath Mishra's house, and they fell into deep sleep. The Brahman is alone there in the temple room, ringing the bell, making the offering. Again, Nimai comes. And Nimai is attracted to that offering. And the Brahman opens his eyes, he sees Nimai there. Hi, again, hi. No one could hear him. Everyone deep slumber. Nimai says to the Brahman, why, you're calling me again and again? More mantra jopi. More abahan, you chant my mantra. More abahan, you invite me. Rahite na pariyami ashi tomarsthan. I cannot resist. Rahite na pariyami, I cannot restrain myself. Ashi tomarsthan, I come here. You're inviting me. That's why in the second initiation, actually the Diksha mantra, that one is given, the gifts of the Diksha Guru, mantra Diksha, this one has to be somewhat qualified. Prabhupada did not give so liberally the Diksha mantras. After some time of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when one is purified and fixed up in a regulative lifestyle, a sinless life, then one is awarded the confidential Diksha mantras that are used in the deity worship. That's why those mantras, the Lord is controlled by those mantras. The mul mantras which are used when one is offering the items to the Lord, one chants the mula mantras of the deity in offering the items. More mantra jopi. Mahaprabhu is saying, you're chanting my mantra. He was chanting 6-syllable Gopal mantra. By chanting this mantra, the Lord is controlled. Therefore, such mantras are so powerful and only awarded to the qualified and are given confidentially. In the parampara, how fortunate we are to receive these mantras, which same mantras which Prabhupada received from Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Actually, these mantras were selected by Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the great Acharya. He personally established those mantras and established the deity worship process of Gaudiya Math. You'll see that his father, Thakur Bhaktivinoda, and his guru, Gokishore Das Babaji, they're not actually wearing the Brahman thread. He put the Brahman thread on, and the mantras that we are chanting are selected by those mantras Prabhupada was initiated in. Prabhupada received his initiation, mantra diksha, on the same day as the Harinam initiation in Prayag. At that place, Prabhupada received on the same day, which was rarely seen in Gaudiya Math. And Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur instructed Prabhupada to read Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So those same mantras Prabhupada initiated and gave to his disciples, and those same mantras we are receiving in Parampara. What a treasure, how fortunate we are to be initiated in ISKCON and receive these mantras. More mantra japi, Mahaprabhu is explained, by chanting these mantras the Lord is attracted, the Lord is controlled. He will accept that offering because of the potency of the Parampara, the full potency of the Parampara is manifest in the chanting of those mantras. More mantra jape, more abahan, you invite me. Rohitena pariyam. I cannot restrain myself. Ashitam ashtan. And then that Brahman, the Lord Gaur-Gopal, he's there in the form of the childlike form, Gaur-Gopal. Then he manifests the Ashtabhuj form, an 8-arm form, the Apurabo, never before seen, 8-arm form. He manifests there in the temple room. You'll see in the Mayapur and the relief carvings, the Brahman is there. There's an 8-arm form of the Lord. The 4 arms of Lord Vishnu and another 4 arms. 1 arm eating the sandesh, 1 arm playing the flute, and 1 arm with the sannyas, 2 hands with the sannyas, danda and kamandalu. 8-arm formed. Ashtabhuj. And he gave that darshan to the Brahman. So the mantra. Yeah. Jaishtan koren bipra onna nivedon oilen sheishtan eshisha chinandan. Jaishtan kore bipra. Kore nivedon. He's offering that place Mahaprabhu appeared, came. So the Brahman saw at that moment the whole area transformed into Vrindavan. The whole scene transformed into Vrindavan. What he was meditating on in his years of sadhana practice, of archana vidhi, of meditating, actually Jananivas Prabhu explained to me, I showed him, I had the shalagram, I showed him, he gave me some instruction on worshipping the shalagram. He told me that, he gave me some instruction on worshipping the shalagram. And he said that the actual puja is the antaranga puja, the meditation. The meditation. So when you're meditating on putting the Lord to rest, the meditating on offering the bhoga, that is antaranga puja. That is the actual puja. And the bahiranga puja, the external, he said that's not as important. Generally in the home, we're thinking just put the flowers, put the sweet. There's only the external approach. But actually the meditation is the real puja. And he said that whatever items externally you can offer will suffice, whatever is available. But the real puja is in the antaranga meditation. That's why the deity worship is so powerful. And he said essential worship for the shalagram is the tulasi leaves and the chandan. This is the essential worship. Everything else is whatever you can manage, but the tulasi and the chandan is the essential worship. And then the meditation, the full worship is there. So then the years of the meditation of this Brahman in his puja, this is Archana Siddhi. Archana Siddhi, he attained the perfection by the deity worship process, which also involves the mantra jap. But the Archana Siddhi, he attained the perfection. The Lord manifests in the deity, the Lord fully manifests there in the Archana practice. As a result of the sadhana, means the effort. Sadhan bhakti roti hoy, sadhan bhakti hoite hoy, roti udoy. Mahaprabhu is explaining to Rupa Goswami that by the practice, sadhan bhakti hoite hoy, roti udoy, the love awakens. Roti gara hoy, she prem bhakti hoy, then that develops into prema by sadhana, by the effort. By the effort, the exercise, you have to practice. You have to practice the meditation. You have to practice the loving Krishna through the sadhana practice. So that the Brahman, he's meditating, Gopal, he's meditating on the Vrindavan scene. What he would meditate on in his daily sadhana, that meditation, that became fully manifest. Gopa, Gopi, Gabi, Gon, Chartur, Dike, Dekhe. Gopa Gopi, the cowherd girls The Gopa Gopi, the cowherd boys, the cowherd girls, Gabi gone, the cows, Charturdike Deke, he saw all around him. The gopis, the gopas, the cows. Jaha dhyan kore tai deke porokete. What he would see in his meditation manifest there in the courtyard of Shachi Devi as a result of the receiving the mercy of the Lord. So these are some thoughts today. And then the Lord said, you can stay here, no more wandering. no need to leave this place, no more wandering from one place to another. You can stay here. But you cannot tell anyone what you saw this evening. You cannot reveal to anyone this incident. You imagine that? What sense control? What bacha beg? We cannot even keep quiet. For a few moments, I have to speak. Have to speak. Bacha beg. We cannot. How are you today? We cannot stop. We cannot. And such news, and you cannot tell anyone. He said, Mahaprabhu said, your life will be destroyed if you tell anyone. But you can stay here, but you cannot tell anyone what you saw, and you can see my pastimes. And so that Brahman stayed in Navadip and witnessed. Adikonda kota jayamrit shravan jai shishu rupe krida kore narayan. Adikonda kota, the descriptions in the Adikonda. Amrit shravan, the nectarian, like drinking nectar. Jai shishu rupe krida kore narayan. In the way in the form of a child, krida kore narayan, the Lord of Vaikuntha is playing in the form of a child. And so that Brahman was able to witness those pastimes. So some thoughts on today's verse. The Lord's body is blackish but eternal, full of bliss and knowledge, and very beautiful. His eyes are always peaceful. They are reddish like rising morning sun. I can immediately recognize him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his 4 hands, different symbolic representations, and yellow silk garments. Are there any questions on today's discussion? Radhakanta, Dash Adhikari.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for the nice class. Prabhuji, my question may be very ignorant question, but normally we say a dog will recognize his master in whichever dress he wears, whichever form he comes. This Brahman is very ardent devotee, very pure devotee, and Supreme Lord has appeared as small child there, Nimai. How or why he didn't recognize Nimai as the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Is it because of Leela or?
Yeah. Can you? What an experience to have the you don't know, and all of a sudden you realize that the Supreme Lord is eating my offering. So it's such a surprise. Kandar pakoti kamaniya vishesha shobham. He's always surprising. He's fulfilling the desire. He's fulfilling the desire. The meditation is the desiring to serve the Lord. Sri Guru Paramananda Premananda Palavar Brajananda Pradhananda Shevamanyo Jaya. We're praying to the spiritual master, please give me an opportunity to reside Sevananda Brajananda Shevananda to reside in Vrindavan and serve the Lord directly. We're desiring. We have to replace the desire for personal sense satisfaction. We have to replace that and override by awakening desires for the Lord. The desire is the eternal nature of the soul. We're polluted with material desires, and because of association, sangat sanjayate kama. Because of associating with materialists, we develop material desires. It's surrounded by. We become filled with material desires. We have to purify ourselves of those desires by cultivating the spiritual desire. By cultivating, this is a lesson for us. This Leela is a lesson for us. And it's not the easy thing. He's cultivating the desire. For many decades, this Brahman is doing the worship. He's so fixed. And then the Lord comes and fulfills that desire. The Lord will fulfill that desire. Jai Prasade Pure Shardva Asha. You sang it this morning. Jai Prasade Pure Shardva Asha. Jai Prasade, Prabhupada mercy. Pure Shardva Asha. All the desires are fulfilled. So you have to, the desire, you cultivate the desires, they'll be fulfilled. So we just have to worship the deities that Srila Nitya Lila Pravishta Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj has given us. He has given us the goal. He has given us the mantras. He has given us the practice. And by His mercy, the desire will be fulfilled. We'll enter Vrindavan and carry on worshipping Sri Sri Radha Madhav. Anything else today? Hitesh.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Once in answer to the question that what shall we desire, what shall we pray to the Lord? So you answered that the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra itself is a prayer. When we chant Hare Krishna, it is a prayer only. And today we heard that while chanting we should desire to hear the flute of Lord.
The desires, the Archana mark will help us, will create the appropriate desire. The Archana mark, that's why we should understand the worshipping the deity. We should understand the mantras. And we should go and meditate. And in that way we associate, our desires will develop through association. Through the Archana mark, we'll develop desires to serve Sri Sri Radha Madhav in Vrindavan. That desire will manifest by practicing the sadhana and by associating with Vaishnavas who have such desires. Just like yesterday we heard the class, Srila Jayapataka Goswami Maharaj, we heard the class. His desire is so strong to spread Krishna consciousness to everyone. It's like effervescent when he speaks. There's such a burning desire that everyone becomes Krishna conscious. So when you associate with such Vaishnavas and you hear from them, you become inspired. You want to give your life for this mission. So you develop desire by associating with those who have the pure desire to serve.
As you said that while doing japa, while we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, that is only the prayer. We should only chant and hear at that time. So we can also think like desiring when chanting.
Well, the Shravan Kirtan, the chanting is meant for hearing. Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte. Shravanadi. Chanting is not meant for making plans. This project, that project. It's meant for just hearing the sound. And that's how we should chant japa. But still, we may not be so absorbed. Whatever we can be absorbed is best. But if we're not so absorbed, still if we're thinking about how we're going to serve in the mission when we're chanting, okay, that's better than thinking about material things. But best to try to simply hear the sound. But then sometimes you're thinking also, you get inspiration in chanting the japa time. So that can be there. But this is by practicing Krishna consciousness, associating your desires, you become full of desires to serve the mission of Krishna consciousness. And then you forget all of your materialistic desires. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shamaveta Gaur Bhakta Brinda ki jai, Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Shridhanath Premanande Hari Hari Bol.